Welcome to the real episode 142 of Look What Just Found. I went on a rant before when I started to do the video, and that was it. It became a rant. It became a rant video. So that's not fair to everyone who wants to watch a coin roll hunt, because that's what I did. So this is the cherry picker roll that we're gonna look through today. It's really a it's really as a result of the. And I know I always put them. I never put them like this. This has to do with the last video. I never do it like that. I always put them nice and neat. So don't think I do it like this. I don't typically, unless I'm just pulling it out of a jar or something like that. All right. So I'll talk a little bit while I'm going. This is the cherry picker roll, and I got inspired. That's the word I'm looking for. I got inspired yesterday because I was watching some other channel, coin roll hunting, and what's that? Yeah, imagine that on the first one I pick, I find an error. That'll be hilarious. Oh hell yeah! Are you serious? Yo, even with the loop, even with the loop, I see this, man. Where's my has a little bit of dirt. I just want to take off the top layer of dirt a little bit just so I could show you. Now I could be wrong. I don't think so, but let me just. It's on the date underneath the 2. It looks like there's some doubling, which would be highly unusual for 2017. I'm gonna have to go in a little closer. It's on the bottom. First of all, it looks like I see it in the 00. So let me hit the light. It's in the bottom of the right side of the 2. But it's, it's so difficult to see at this point that maybe it doesn't matter. I'll put it down here. Maybe it'll be something that I look on a microscope at some point in the future. Or sometimes what happens is when I look at it on the TV, in the big screen, I'm able to see it. What's going on here, man? You see that, right? Above the 3? Oh my God, are you kidding me? What's going on with me this morning? Oh, it's funny because I wonder if this is. Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. So remember, this is the cherry picker. I'm going to weigh this coin. I'm going to tell you my thesis in a second. I mean, my thesis, my theory. $256. I think this is polished. So I mentioned this in the previous video. I got educated a little bit on polished coins and the little scratch. And it's true because I did a coin cleaning and I polished and I saw the little scratches come on it, right? And I was like, oh man. And I basically ruined the coin because of the polishing. Now, for some reason, there are some coins that you polish and you don't see a damn line on it. But it could have to do with the zinc. I don't know what it is. It could have to do with the finish. But on this coin, I'm pretty sure this is a polished penny. And if you look above the 3, right here, you can almost see the something's going on there. So I think the person found it and polished it, and then said, I ruined I ruined the penny already, and put it back into the what's that called, into the roll. I think that's what happened. Nice. These are my favorite, man. So already super interesting. Here's our first copper. So one of my, first of all, so if the cherry picker is one, look at this. Oh, and it has the die clash in the 9. Look at that. Oh man, 78. Now 78 does not have a key, according to the mat, doesn't have a key variety. By the way, there's a key variety that is not on. Well, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's a key variety or not. I shouldn't say that. I've seen other people call different dates different key varieties. That's super interesting. The fact that it's only the lamination. Yeah, I mean, to me that looks like lamination changes. I could be wrong. Obviously, probably am, because it's. I mean, it's only in between the columns. So if it was staining, you would think it would be on top of the columns also. Yeah, that doesn't make sense either. Anyway, regardless. So let's find this. Did I go too close? So the 8 definitely looks doubled, and the 7 looks like there's something going on, or it's a certain type of strike. I don't know exactly what you want to call it, but I want to find that thing that I called the die clash before. Where's it at? Come on. Oh, is that it right there? I think it's in the 9, and also in the 9, the 9 also looks doubled. Maybe I'm a little too close. So anyway, irregardless, the whole date really has some doubling to it, even the number 1 there. But I thought behind the 9 there was a little bit of a clash. I can't see it, and it's really light, but I will put this to the side. Which is pretty weird. So far, all 4 pennies the first 4 pennies we looked at, I found interesting. Okay, that was a little too close. Another copper penny. Let me get this a little closer to me. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. I guess that's blistering, right? Also interesting. I mean, we haven't found anything of value or anything like that. Be nice to. $71D. 71P. This is 71D. Yeah, so I found it very interesting. Watching this person coin roll hunt yesterday. Very, very interesting. Make sure that's not a die crack break. I don't think so. I think it's just interesting. Put that. Well, we got some copper, if nothing else. Okay, so like I was saying, I found his channel very interesting. I'm not going to shout him out or anything like that. You probably know who he is, or there's 1,000 coin channels, where people just throw the coins on the table like this, and they go, okay, next roll, and they throw the next roll down, and then they just look for whatever's on the mat, basically. The key days variety, wheat cents. Um, that seems to be the big. This one has some tilted hub. That seemed to have been the person's like really major goal, was to, are there any wheat pennies in there? And again, very, very knowledgeable about coins, and oof, man, super duper impressed me, I gotta tell you. Really knew a lot of errors, um, and was able to spit out information um, on demand, so either very high IQ, a lot of experience, or a combination of the two. But, he would just go, oh, yeah, blah, 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 yeah, error, blah, 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 look over here and there, we'll check it out later. And I was like, wow, all right. This guy's been doing this for a long time, And I found that really, really interesting. Me, I have to keep the error list in front of me. I'm gonna look at that P, and generally speaking, I do not come back to anything. 2017s are not repunched. And so whatever would be going on I would think would have to be either due to a die error or the tilting of the hub ever so slightly that gives a doubling look. So this P is doubled, has doubling going on. I don't know what, the classification is, but I'm going to say that's pretty rare. Because I've never seen one before. And oh my God, I can hear the birds running on the roof. It's so funny that they're a little active in one. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna put that on top of a piece of paper so that I have to write a little note. So it's not a repunch mint mark because they didn't they stopped punching mint marks after 1989. So we're gonna put a DD whatever it is, OO whatever mint mark. Okay. um so I was really mesmerized by this person's YouTube his coin roll hunting technique. A little different. I guess it's our personalities um come out on the video um you know even if you don't want it to even if you're trying to act eventually part of who you are is going to show. Some people make it a point to be to for their videos to really show their personality, and I guess it becomes more about their personality than it necessarily does about the hobby, which is fine. You know what I mean, right? Because some people are super interesting. I'm not, but you see that there, right? In the O. So we're gonna look at the also next to the S right there. All right, let me look at this very quickly. Oh, not very quickly. Let me look at this. I have to make sure that because that looks like for some reason, right? I guess it's our brain, right? We'll look at dirt when it's next to like a letter, and our brain will tell us. My brain tells me, "Oh wow, that looks like doubling from the letter." Meanwhile, it is not, right? Because we want to see the doubling because we want to find, the error. And so it's like a bias. And right now, the only thing I could say I see is in the O and of on the reverse, I'm saying. I mean, as far as what's very obvious, without pulling out again like a microscope, which I don't want to do for every coin. Well, the only thing is if I find one little piece that is doubled, maybe there is another. So right there, you can see it on the O. Let's see if we see it anywhere else. I thought I saw it in the S before. Yeah, you see it right there next to the S, which is interesting. It's just in that one spot right there, you know. Oh yeah, and the E too, with that shine right there. You can see it in the E. Okay, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and call this a key. It's it's obviously has some condition issues, obviously, but the DDR is a key variety for 1994. Oh, is it a P? Yeah, it's a P. All right, I'll put this on a piece of paper. I'm gonna put the O, and I'm gonna put the, what was the other one? Was the R? No, it was the S. There's the S. And I'll do the T also. Uh, you kidding me? Hmm. Now, I'm gonna call that the. I mean, it's super duper. Looks like strike through a die clash there. You see that right between the A and the M. I mean, that's. But I believe it or not, if I tell you, I think that's the. I think that has to do. Believe it. I have to look at it again. It really is. Looks kind of strong. Oh. Hmm. You know what? I'm not gonna clean this one or anything like that. And it does look like a little die clashy. Let's look inside the columns. Huh. It's too much dirt here. I'll be honest with you. Like it's not that strong that I could really tell the difference between it and the dirt. So I'm not gonna get into that. I'd have to clean it um, to really get to the bottom of it, or conserve it, whatever you want to call that. And I'm not gonna do that today. So I did find, like, again, I'm gonna keep. That's gonna be, I guess, the theme of today, because, like I said, I watched the video yesterday. It's a pretty long video. And and I found it interesting. You know, I mean, just go. I mean, if you're watching this channel, there's 99% chance that you watch. That'd be nice. It'd be nice if that O was really doubled, right? Can't tell with the light. It's a beautiful coin. Be nice if there was doubling on it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. No, it's so shiny, it's so bright that when you tilt it, it reflects off the side of the letters. And wow, what a beauty. What an absolute, I mean, just to admire, you know, I don't know, a fresh penny or huh. Do you see what I see? Oh man, we're gonna have fun with that, man, during the holidays. Do you see what I see? Eric's cherry pickers they missed. All right. So one of the question is like, why would one person do it different than the other, right? Like, why? And again, it's just personality differences. That's all. I'm pretty sure about that. I'm pretty sure about that. That's one thing I did study for many years, and that's behavior. and that's all. Our personalities will move us in different directions. That's all. Who's more likely, right? Have you ever seen the that's a nice, that's an interesting die dent, huh? You ever saw the videos on the, oh my god, the fraternal are the ones that are, anyway, the identical twins. Let me just change that. The identical twins, they make videos and then they meet each other like when they're in their 30s and 40s. They were separated at birth, right? And they're both firemen who married blondes who both their names is Jill. I mean, it's crazy, and they both live on farms, and they both like potatoes. It's crazy, man. Oh, 98. We want to make sure it's not a wide AM. Look at that real quick. Like, you cannot escape genes, man. You cannot. I mean, you can. you can actively work on it. Oh my God, but the energy and effort it takes to change behavior, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm not even going to get into that whole thing. Like I said, I did counseling for 20 years, and large majority of it was addiction. And the amount of work it takes to change, behaviors, I witnessed firsthand. I had clients for years, and the amount of support that's needed to be put in place to change, maladaptive behaviors. It's really it's incredible. I always wanted to do a separate YouTube channel on it. Gonna look at that R. Let me see anything else under the loop. That's a really something interesting going on there. We'll find out in a second. And again, I'm not talking about. Hold on. So there's a little bit of dirt to the right of the bottom part of the R, right? That makes it look like a doubling. And then right to the right of the R, there's a mark that makes it look like it's part is connected to the dirt on the bottom of the foot. So combined, it gives this illusion of a doubling in the R, but it's not. It's just a piece of dirt and a mark above it. I'm just gonna look on the reverse real quick while I have the loop out. What year is this? 2001. No, White AM. No, White AM is 2000, not 2001, but I'm assuming it's 2000 also. Because it's close, I'm saying. And that's it. We are who we are. And for me, and it's funny because I'm kind of impatient. So I would think that my personality would be more fit with doing this. Hold on, I don't want to mess up what I got. I'm just going to try for dramatic effect. I would think that my personality would be more akin to doing that. And I don't know. I have to look at these real quick. Yeah, these are from before. Okay, so that's the 77. 98. I would think that my personality would be more akin to that. Right? That's a nice 82. And it's not. And the only, and those are at least fine. They could be close to AU. The only thing I could think of is that, I became basically an expert interviewer. And I really mean, when I say expert, I mean, I probably could have worked for the FBI or something like that. Because towards the end of my career as a counselor, again, I'm talking about expert interviewer. That's all I could tell you. When somebody came to see me, a lot of times when people had like DUIs and stuff like that, you know what? There's some 99% of the machine doubling I am not interested in, not even a bit. Oh, we got a key variety. I just picked my head up to look at it. Yay! It's so interesting. And let me tell you, the condition of this penny is absolutely beautiful. This is like a mint state penny. So I looked at this and I go, I mean, you can see it right from far away, next to the L and the I. And I said, oh, let me look at that closer. And like I was saying, I said, I usually do not keep machine doubling. And I was like, but this one, look at that one. This one is like, wow. And then I looked, and the 95 P double die obverse is a key variety. So, I mean, that is a beyond the doubt. It's a machine doubling, but it's still doubling. And it's on the year of a key variety. How about here? I thought I saw some there too. Oh yeah, and the 5. Oh, looky here. That's dope, man. That's dope. Is it just a 5? Yeah, it's just a 5. But really, to me, it's the L and the I that takes the cake because it's just so apparent. Now, it might be some other places I didn't really look that great, and the penny's in absolute beautiful condition. So great key variety. I mean, I have to look at online to see if how compare this to other ones. It might even be in other places. Now that I'm looking, it could be in other places too. But that's the one that I like because you could just see it right there. Right there, you can see it so good. So I'm gonna put this on a piece of paper. So this is the third key variety we found so far in this roll. Now, are they weak? Yeah, they're weak. Are they worth anything? I don't know. Maybe not. So don't 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 take like what I'm saying. It's like, oh, I found $1 million here. No, that's not what I'm saying. So, like I was saying, just to wrap up that thought, was, oh yeah, by the end of 20 years, when somebody came in to do for an assessment, I knew instantly when they sat down if they wanted to be in treatment or not. And most of them did not, meaning they were involuntary, right? They needed treatment because it was court ordered that they had have an assessment. And again, towards the end of my career, I mean, almost within a few minutes of talking to them, whoever it was, I was able to determine whether or not they had if they met the criteria for, um, problem drug or alcohol use. We'll just put it like that, right? Because you don't have to be a full blown alcoholic or full blown drug addict to meet the criteria for treatment, right? And that's what a lot of people didn't realize. And I have to admit, I used that against them, meaning to find out the truth of what was going on underlying. Um, you know, I let them know that I did not think that they were an alcoholic, and I did not think that they were, that their addiction was not at, the level of, that's a beauty. So they would loosen up, and they would start telling me all kinds of stuff that they uh, didn't know that they shouldn't tell me in an interview. And by the end, I said, "Oh yeah, but you're not an alcoholic, and you're not a, you're not a drug addict." Quotes on that word, addict. But you do meet the criteria for someone who has a problem. And they were like, "What do you mean?" And I would say, "Well, you told me that you blacked out the other day. Um, I'm just making up an example. You told me you blacked out, and as a result of the blackout, you got in the car and you got a DUI, and yeah, but that never happened to me before." I said, "I understand that." But you could have killed somebody, you know what I mean? And they were like, "Yeah, I know, I shouldn't." And I said, "Yeah." I say, "Now imagine if I say you don't have a problem, right? Then you go out there and you do hurt somebody, I said, then, people would be like, what do look at me like I don't know what I'm doing," which would be accurate. Anyway, and I would say you do meet the criteria for whatever abuse, not necessarily dependence, but abuse. And as a result of meeting the criteria for abuse, you also meet the criteria for treatment, and that would be that. Not realizing that the criteria for abuse is so low, um, that that there that that if you had it put it like this, if you have a DUI and you really were drinking, I'm saying, as opposed to a false positive or something like that, which is something different, then you're going to meet the criteria for treatment. I'm saying, so it's virtually impossible to get out of treatment if you have a DUI and you really were drinking. Very nice die crack there. Nice long. I don't think that's a blister. Let me check. I really don't think that's a blister. It looks more like a die crack. Yeah, it comes from the edge. Yeah. Anyway, my point in telling that story was that's pretty cool. My point in telling that story is that I became very good at interviewing and understanding, what is that? That people have different personalities. Looks like it's a blister, but man, wow, that blister really looks like a letter. It's a blister that looks like a letter. Woof! Oh my God, did you hear that? The thunder? Oh my God, that got me nervous. It's a blister that looks like something, but I'm pretty sure it's just a blister. Anyway, it has the die crack in the back. So I guess we're gonna get some pretty severe thunder. We're almost done with this. And some people's personalities that just, so mine, I think, is just very suited for investigation. That is where I'm going with all of this. Like I said, if my specialty was addiction, but I don't know. Could I have transferred that skill to something else? Probably. Look at that. That's a nice doubling. What year is this? 92. Close AM. We have a close AM? Nope. It's who I am, you know. It's just my personality. My personality is to investigate, you know. I do it to my son all the time, and you know, it annoys him. I could tell, you know. But you know, sometimes he'll say things that are inconsistent with each other, and I'll point that out to him. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna go into a specific. 1994. If it's a, I'll look at it. No, hold on. Let me look at this real quick. I don't want to just dismiss it, because if the reverse has doubling, then it's a. But to me, that's more like damage. But I guess that's why I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's too much damage here. I'm not gonna mess around with this. And he'll get upset because I'll say, look, you know, you said this the other day, and now you're saying that, you know, and I'm just letting you know that, you know, you're not being consistent with the. Oh, for example, oh yeah, I'll make something up. I want to be a pilot. Oh, no, I want to be an astronaut. That's even better. I want to be an astronaut. I say, okay. He goes, yeah, you have to know, you have to be able to swim underwater for 30 seconds to be, you know, to pass one of the tests of being an astronaut. I'm like, all right, good. He goes, yeah, so I'm going to start swimming because that's going to help me pass this test. I'm like, great. Go to the YMCA. Here's a membership for the YMCA. Go swimming, and let's try to get that up to 35 seconds underwater, so you can become an astronaut. And then a month later, I say, how's that swimming going? You know, I don't think I need to practice anymore. And I say, oh, but I thought you need to swim for half hour for one. It'll help you with one of the tests to become an astronaut. Nah, I don't need to do that. Yeah, I've been practicing on the porch. You know, just holding my breath while I'm sitting on the porch. And I say, but you said that swimming underwater helps you with the test for becoming an astronaut. You didn't say holding your breath on the porch will help you to become an astronaut. So I already know, right, from having that type of discussion with him, this imaginary discussion, he's really not interested in becoming an astronaut anymore, right? Now, I just wanted to say that, you know what I mean? So he's just blowing smoke down my back, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to let him go. I want him to be accountable. That's what I'm looking for. I want him to be accountable for his actions, right? Irregardless if I spent the money on the YMCA thing or not. So there seems to be like a strike through from something, almost like a coin or something. That's what it reminds me of when I see this. Is that's an image from another coin. So that's how my personality is, right? Like I'll just keep going and keep going. Like I can investigate something to the point where I can pick apart somebody's defense um, until they admit that there's an inconsistency with their statement, right? Because there is an inconsistency, they just don't want to admit it because they're embarrassed, or you know, they're just defensive. They don't want to do it, right? So in the scenario I mentioned, my son doesn't want to go to the He just didn't want to do it anymore. You know, he didn't want to go swimming. He had no interest. He doesn't really want to be an astronaut. It was more of a spur of the moment uh, type of a thought. You know, oh, yeah, I want to be an astronaut. Yeah, sign me up for YMCA. I'm going to ask. This is a really cool. I don't know how valuable that is, but it is pretty cool. I'm going to put that to the side. So that's my personality. My personality is investigatory. Having an investigatory personality. 1975D. And I have to assume that that's, you know, that jives with a lot of the viewers. I have to look at that to see if that's a strike through or not. No, I'm going to say post mint damage. There is something next to the R. It's a little circle. Yeah, we're having a torrential thunderstorm right now. Absolutely torrential. Hopefully it doesn't lead. It's definitely going to lead to flooding. I can tell. I haven't heard rain like this in maybe a year or so. So I'm glad we're getting to the end of the video, so I can make sure I can keep an eye out for 1963 D. Oh wow! Look at that! Look at that surface, huh? Look at that surface. Yeah, right. You see that on the 3 right there. That would be absolutely bananas. Hold on a second, man. Make sure that's not dirt. Imagine that last coin mojo. All right, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm gonna assume that the cherry picker looked at this and he said, "Oh, that's not." I don't know. Those are the types of things that I see online that people are pointing to. All right, I'll say it's not. It's not the variation, even though that little thing on the side of the 3 is intriguing, but I'll say it's not doubling. Hmm. Look at that in the A. Oh, that's super duper cool. I mean, it really doesn't matter if there's no doubling on the front to make. So it's not a see, and this is part of the problem right here to me. All right, and I'm glad we're ending on this penny right here. Let me look at that first of all. Oh yeah. So the 1963, if there's doubling on the obverse, it's the key variety, right? So this is probably one of the reasons this penny is in the roll, is because the obverse has no doubling. So the person, the cherry picker, looked to see if it had the key variety and didn't, and threw it into the thing, into the roll. Meanwhile, the reverse either has a strike through or a die clash. And you can see something happening with the rim there, but it's pretty obvious in the A. Anyway, so to me, this is part of the problem with cherry picking, is that the key varieties are only worth a couple bucks, man, unless they're in super good condition and it's a very rare key variety and the doubling is super great. Otherwise, a different type of error, is very good chance it's worth more than the key variety that the cherry picker is looking for. So I'm just saying, that's how my brain works, and that's how we're gonna end this video. Thank you very much. God bless. Please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.